Hey everybody, it's Erin Schertz here, marketing manager for Rootstech, and I am so thrilled to bring you and to introduce our first live speakers for our Women and Mothers in Genealogy live event for May. We have Mari and Marky, and they are sisters actually, and co-founders of Relive Designs. We met them during Roots Tech, and they are just amazing. Their story, they're going to tell you a little bit about their story and about their inspiration behind preserving handwriting specifically, but other things as well, as far as preserving your female, you can also preserve male ancestors or current relatives for posterity and to create keepsakes to be able to do that. And it's just so beautiful. And we were so touched. And so we're excited to introduce them to you today. So, ladies, why don't you take it from here?
Thank you, Erin. We have a quick presentation. We'll hurry and pop up so you guys can follow along with us. Hold on. If we can grab it. There we go. All right. Hopefully you all can see this now. I think we're good to go. So as Erin mentioned, we are Relive Designs and we are co-owners, and we'll just do a brief introduction of ourselves with a few pictures so you can see what we're all about. So we're Mari and Marky. I'm Mari, this is Marky, and we are sisters and actually lucky enough to be best friends. And we create heirloom pieces to be handed down for generations by preserving handwriting.
We just got, you guys can't see the slides. Annie, did you get those slides up?
Hi. Okay, so right now we see your screen, but we don't see your presentation. So, okay, I think it's going into it right now.
I'm gonna have to log in. Sorry, we had that up.
No worries. Technical difficulties. Always. Yeah, I think I see you just logging in right now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. We're so excited to hear what you have to share today.
Maybe. Okay. Can we stop sharing our screen for a minute?
Sure. Yeah, I didn't put your screen yet into this into it, so
all
you
right,
guys
let's
can figure out the presentation. And in the meantime, though, maybe Mari, you can just tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Yeah, of course.
Put the slide.
And can you still see me? Are we good?
I can see you too.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to go in too deep because we will be presenting on more of this, but Marky and I actually lost our grandparents who were so important to us in a tragic car accident. And after they passed away, we clung to everything that they had. And handwriting was something that helped us keep them alive. And we tried to find a way that we could display it in our homes. And we're going to give you guys suggestions today on how to preserve it and display it. And that's kind of just how our business started. So if you're interested, you can go to our website, which is relivedesigns.com, and you can take a look. Our Instagram is relive.designs, and we share a lot of our own stories as well as stories of others who reach out about their ancestors' handwriting. You wouldn't believe all the cool stories that we hear. So it looks like Marky's just grabbing this, and I think we should be good.
And we put
okay, can you see those screens now?
I can't. Did you hit the present and then share screen?
Yes. Let me try here. We did a run through and it worked yesterday. Now it's not working.
Yesterday. Sorry, maybe everybody in the comments, you can write your name and where you're joining from. We'd love to
we
see.
would love to know where you're from.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Annie, we just entered. Try that again.
Did you? All right. I see you guys. I don't see your screen yet. Awesome. We got Cindy from Nebraska.
Ooh, hi.
Okay, thank you for hanging with us, everybody.
Perfect.
Are we
Awesome.
good?
Here they are. Okay.
Oh my word. Okay.
Okay.
Yay.
Okay, so I already gave you a little brief introduction, but for those just getting on, so once again, I'm Mari, and then this is Marky. And this is our business and our company. We're so passionate about preserving handwriting for generations to come.
So we started Relive Designs when we lost our grandparents in a tragic car accident. And we found ourselves just clinging on to everything they wore, they touched, their grocery list, little notes that they wrote us. And we were able to preserve their handwriting and make keepsakes to display in our homes. And those keepsakes brought us so much comfort that we wanted to share that with others. And so began Relive Designs.
So we specialize in preserving handwriting. Preserving handwriting is so important, and we're so passionate about it because it connects us to the past, the present, and the future. It helps us feel connected to our ancestors and keep their memory alive. So this month, during the month of May, Roots Tech is actually focusing on motherhood and women in genealogy. And why we're here today is to help you preserve the influential woman in your life's handwriting.
So to get started, we have a question for you. We want to hear your answers in the comments. So please comment them. Who is or has been the most influential woman in your life? This is our grandma, and she is one of the most influential women in our life. We love her and miss her so much, but she had so many great qualities. One of my favorite qualities about her was she just made you feel so comfortable and loved and at home. So if you guys want to share, go ahead and write who has been the most influential woman in your life. We're seeing some moms,
some grandmas. All right, so now we have a follow-up question. What do you have in her handwriting? So just to jot your memory, think of maybe a recipe or a birthday card or a note, maybe a little something, a little Post-it that she left you that you hung on to. We have so many sweet answers. We have great grandmothers who were influential in their lives. We have recipe cards.
Go ahead and keep flooding the comments with your answers so that others can see. Lots of recipe cards. That's so awesome.
Things telling that they love you. That's one of our favorites, is when we get things that say I love you on it, which is what we're going to talk about right now.
So if you're lucky enough to have your influential woman still living, we have a little homework assignment. You can go ahead and screenshot your screen that you are watching from, but get these 5 things from her. Her signature, a piece of life advice, her favorite memory of you, her favorite recipe, and have her write, I love you. We have our own regrets, and we also have so many people that come to us with regrets of things that they wish they would have had from their loved ones in their handwriting.
So if your influential woman has passed away, we first want to offer our condolences. We know what that's like to not have that security and comfort of having her with you. But we want to give you ideas on how to find her handwriting. And one of the things you can do is look for her signature. look at old checks, look at tax documents, look at legal documents and doodles. You might be able to find an I love you on birthday cards or maybe a note that she left you. A recipe. We saw in lots of the comments that people were saying that they had a recipe from their influential woman. And then lastly, ask family. You would be surprised at the things that can pop up once you start asking if anyone has handwriting in your influential woman's handwriting.
So now what? Once you have obtained the handwriting, there are many ways to be able to share it and preserve that handwriting, and we just wanted to share a few with you.
We all know paper crinkles and crumbles and ink fades, and you wouldn't believe how many people reach out to us and they're like, my child just scribbled on this precious recipe. Can you preserve it? And sometimes we can save it, sometimes we can't. So we want to give you some ideas on how to save that special precious handwriting.
The easiest way with technology today is to digitize it. Just take a picture of it or even scan it. I want to share a quick story about a customer. We had a customer lose their mom very young, and her mom would write her and her siblings little notes on their paper sack lunches every day. And lucky enough, one of the daughters took pictures of some of these precious notes, and we were able to create her a keepsake keychain so that she can have her mom with her wherever she goes.
Something else you can do is share it. Once you find this keepsake or this note or recipe, share it with others. Give it to family. We just had a customer who ordered a charcuterie board of her grandma's bread recipe that she would make every Sunday. She ordered one for herself, and then she ordered one for all of her aunts too. So now they all have that precious bread recipe tied with all those memories displayed in their kitchens.
Store it. Store your notes in a special place and keep them all together so that you know where they are. Ink fades, and by laminating your notes and recipe cards, that helps to preserve the handwriting of your loved ones.
And here's something easy you can do today. So go find that note that you were thinking about earlier. Go to Walmart and find just a glass frame that fits that note and display it in your home so you can see it every day.
And then our last idea that we have is to add it to Family Tree. You can digitize their handwriting, their notes, and you can upload it to their memory tab on Family Tree.
So moving forward, we want you to preserve your own memory for generations to come.
So here are some ideas that we want to share with you. Write out your favorite recipes. Make a recipe book with all of your favorite recipes. When somebody asks you to share one of your recipes with them, it's so easy to just take a screenshot and send it on over, but take that extra minute and make it a little more meaningful and handwrite that recipe.
And we've talked about our business and a little bit about what we do, but you're always welcome to go to our website, which is relivedesigns.com, and look at the keepsakes we have there. And all we need is just a picture of the note, and we can create you a keepsake that you can display.
Write a note or a card to someone you love. It adds so much sentimental value seeing the handwriting and actually having a card or note instead of just sending somebody a simple text.
And lastly, keep a journal. Now, I know this might seem a little daunting, but bit by bit, even if you just write 1 or 2 sentences a week even, you'll collect memories and have your own story to tell. So we just want you to focus on this month, keeping your memory alive, whether you're reaching out to the influential woman in your life currently and having them write the 5 tips that we gave you in their own handwriting so you can have that forever and then keep it in a special place.
We will be forever grateful for this recipe board that we were able to make for us. This has a very special family recipe in both our grandpa and our grandma's handwriting, which we were able to find once they passed away. By preserving this, we are able to share these memories with others and our children, that the memories that come from this special recipe, and also seeing it in our homes just helps us to remember and keep their memory alive.
So you can follow our story at Relive Designs. On Instagram, we're relive.designs, and then to order a keepsake, it's relivedesigns.com. And if you guys have any questions about anything, we'll be here for the next little bit. And I think Annie will help us to filter the questions that come in. if you have any. And like she said, we want to know where you're from and where you're watching from. Okay, we have a question.
Hey, you guys. Yes, we do. No, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you. I was just
No, you're good.
asking the questions, and you're getting some great questions. So, yes, I love these ideas. So I'll ask the questions and you guys answer because I don't know yeah, you guys are the experts. I love these ideas. This is from Sydney up in northern Utah. What's been your favorite material for keepsakes that you've made so far?
What's yours?
I love anything that just preserves loved ones who have passed away. I was able to make one of my friends who lost their brother a little keychain with his "I love you," and she always, it brings tears to my eyes just thinking about it, because she is always just so grateful. She's like, I carry around my brother with me wherever I go. So I love anything that we do that preserves the loved ones who have passed away handwriting.
And I think one of my favorites is we have cooking wooden spoons that a lot of times we get I love yous from grandmas. And those are really special because as you cook in the kitchen, you can see their writing.
I love that so much. We have a question coming on Facebook from Sharon. She asks, so many kids today are not learning cursive. I can tell you that's true. My daughter is one of them. She's in 3rd grade and she's not learning it, just the printing. Now that digital is so big, right? Should we print out our notes or recipes?
Sharon, I can also tell you, I don't know how to read cursive. That's how lost of a skill, lost art cursive writing is becoming.
I think it's great to print them off. Print them off, share them. Even if it is cursive. Cursive is so beautiful.
It really is. I know. I think that's such a good thing. And even if someone didn't have the handwriting, but maybe had like a famous recipe printed out, I mean, that could also be just cool as a keepsake.
Right.
Better if it's in handwriting, but just preserving that recipe would be cool. I love that idea. Stanley is coming in from YouTube and he asks, I have some family homestead ash wood boards. Stanley, that sounds so cool. Could I send them to you for you to place my mother's note, signature, etc. on them?
Oh my word, that's amazing. I don't think that we would dare touch your precious items. But you're always welcome to look at the things that we have. But I'm trying to think of ideas. Reach out to us on Instagram, Stanley, because maybe we can think of something that you can do on those ash wood boards.
That's really cool.
Can you remind us of your Instagram name? We have it in the comments, but just in case, now that you mentioned that, how can he reach out to you on Instagram?
It's relive.designs, and send us a message and we'll brainstorm what cool things you can do with that.
I love it. M. Davis says, thanks for these ideas for preserving handwriting. I love that too.
You're welcome.
We had a question come in, and I don't know if we'll be able to easily find it because we've had so many, but I just wanted to ask, where can someone start if they don't know how to find the handwriting samples? Do you have any tips?
If you literally have nothing, start reaching out to relatives. You would be so surprised at the things that relatives have. We actually named our daughter after my grandma, and I could not find her signature anywhere. And I reached out to an aunt, and she had an old check that had her signature. So you never know where you can pull signature from. So just
and that's with signatures, like their tax documents that like someone might have on file, or legal documents or checks.
So if you have nothing, just start reaching out to family members. That's where you can start.
I love that. I was thinking too, and I have no idea, but we just bought a house and they had a whole library full of books. And I asked when we negotiated for the house sale if they would consider leaving the books, because I love old books. I just don't have a lot these days because I'm, my Kindle and stuff. And I was going through some of them, and there's so many notes in those books and in the margins. And there's a few that have intros in them. And I think that's something that I just had forgotten that people used to do all the time is write personalized notes in books. So maybe if you can find books, just start going through them to look and see if you can find anything.
Yes. That's a great suggestion.
I know we've had some more questions coming in. Let's see what else we can find. What if all your relatives have passed? That's from Bree Davis on Facebook.
Hi, Bree. We first want to offer our condolences because we know that with that comes like that deep, heavy grief of, I don't have anything. And as we mentioned before, I don't know if you heard, but just start asking around if you know of any of their friends or any of their family members, if they have anything. A lot of times it'll be like a little birthday card that they sent them or a recipe that they borrowed.
That's really cool. I know too, just for a plug for Family Search, if you go into Family Search, and by the way, it's totally free, so you can create an account and create a family tree. There are a lot of uploaded documents that you could possibly find some handwriting on. So it's worth checking just to see if there's anything there that another person might have. Now, it doesn't have to necessarily be a relative of yours. We've had so many digitized records from places all over. So you never know what you might find as you start searching. Stanley says you're onto something great, ladies. Very nice idea and implementation too. I agree,
Oh, thanks,
Stanley. That's really nice. I love that. Nicole says, hi, I definitely want to do this. You know, it would be so cool as a follow-up to this, and you probably get this all the time on your Instagram, is people sharing their stories of what they've done or how I know that you share a lot of the pieces that you've created for them, but it's just so inspirational to see what people have done and the ideas that they had, which is really cool. Pam says Family Search is wonderful. Thanks, Pam. We think so too.
It's wonderful.
Yes. And speaking about stories, you mentioned briefly earlier that you have so many, you've heard so many really cool stories. Are there any that you could share of either maybe ways that people found something that they wanted to create or things that stand out that you were able to create for them, like notes or something like that, or even the moments that you've seen where someone's gifted an item like this and the reaction that they've had and what that's meant to them to remember these things?
Yeah. We had a customer come to us. She had lived in her house forever and she was moving and she had a bunch of old books and books that she had like bought for her kids when they were little. And she brought these books to her family to start going through them so that each family could have a couple of these books from their childhood. And in one of those books, she found a letter that her parents had written her. And I can't remember the exact year, but it was 1930s, 1940s. And that book they had given her and her siblings for Christmas. And it was just a sweet little note that said like their names and then it said Merry Christmas, love mom and dad. And so that was so precious because it totally shocked her. She didn't think she had anything. And then as families were going through these books, they found that special note in one of those books.
I love that. That's so awesome. I mean, it makes you feel like someone's still there, right? Even though they aren't. Just seeing that handwriting, it brings back memories of their voice and their tone and all the things to just remember who they are and where they, who they were in your life. I love that.
Their handwriting is like embedded in us. And when we like physically can see it, it totally brings back those memories.
And one
It's
of
such
the
a
things
touching gift. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say one of the things you mentioned was like their reactions to receiving like a keepsake or seeing their handwriting.
They're so special.
Well, even like with her, that story, that lady knew exactly whose handwriting that was. And it's crazy how every keepsake, immediately there's an emotional response because that handwriting, they know whose it is. You don't even have to second guess it. Like if you had 100 handwritings laid out, you'd be able to, I could tell her handwriting, my mom's handwriting, my dad's handwriting, you know exactly who wrote it. And that's really special.
It's almost a good reminder too that we don't write as often today as we used to. And so it means even more for the living, right? To leave those notes. My 9-year-old is always asking me to write her a note in her lunchbox. And this conversation that we're having right now and your presentation is making me realize she wants that connection with me.
Right.
That handwritten, not a digital text or whatever, but a handwritten note that says, hey, I love you, have a good day. And even today, yeah, I love that. Ace asks from YouTube, can you remind us of your website if we want to get something made?
Yeah, it's relivedesigns.com. So RELIVE designs.com.
Cool, and we'll put that in the comments as well if any of you missed that. Jennifer Jackson from Facebook asks, how do you get the handwriting onto the spoons, charcuterie boards, etc.? Is it printed on the board? Will it last for a long time? I also want to ask too, if you put food on it and wash it, will it stay intact? I was thinking about that earlier, so I'm going to add that to her question.
So Jennifer, and for others, it is engraved. So it is in the wood for good. So yeah, you won't have to worry about it washing away. But with boards, how you wash the wood is what will help you to be able to keep it looking nice.
Yeah, no, I love that tip. Thank you so much. And Bree asks, I don't have books with handwritings. I wonder if I should do that for my own grandkids. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yes, Bree, you should. You should do all the things. I had, it sounds like you have grandkids. So I had my kids' grandparents write them a note that I'm going to save for them when they turn, a certain age that they can appreciate it. So even do something like that. Start writing in books, give them little cards and notes.
We lost both of our grandparents very young. We do not
both sets.
Both sets of grandparents. We don't have them living with us anymore. And my husband, his grandparents are still alive. And I'm always like, can you write a note in this book? If they gift a book to my daughter, I'm like, can you write a note in this book? Because once you don't have it, you just wish you had it. And so going forward, Bree, that's a great idea to be able to give that to your grandkids because it will mean so much to them.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. And so does this YouTube viewer. Letter writing is something I find very personal and have started to do with my adult children and grandchildren. Such a good use of time and resources. It really is. It just stands out more than ever.
And
I think especially in our digital age.
Minutes longer to handwrite something rather than just sending a text or screenshotting. But the value in that, it's totally worth it. Totally worth those few extra minutes.
I totally agree. Diane says, this is a great tip, Diane. Thank you. Lots of times you can find wills, marriage records, military records, organization records, etc., with signatures on them. And she saves all her ancestors' signatures that she's found. What a great thing to preserve.
Diane, we would love to know where you keep all those special things. That's always a tip that people are asking, where do I store it? How do I keep it? We always suggest a binder. Keep everything in a binder. We can share on our Instagram later a special binder that has an adhesive back with a protective cover. So you can just put the note down and then cover it. And it's so easy, so simple. When you get something special, you can just pop it in that binder.
Oh, I love that idea. And then for the digitizing of it, definitely do a binder so that you can create things like this. And then for the digitizing, you can actually upload in Family Search your memories, and you can upload things, even things like recipes if you want to, into a person's memory so that you can preserve it digitally too in case that binder ever goes lost. But I love that idea. Mikkel says from Facebook, I love the way the keepsakes create opportunities to share stories of our loved ones. I love that too. I think this is so wonderful. So, thank you. I wish we had like another hour to
Yeah,
talk
we
about
could talk
this.
all day,
This is
right?
so great. And teaser alert, we are trying to see if we can get the sisters to come to Roots Tech next year so that you can meet them in person and learn more about what they're doing. But definitely reach out to them at the links that we provided in the chat. Thank you both so much for spending time with
Thank
us today and to
you.
sharing. This is so wonderful and such great tips. And thanks all of you that are viewing, wherever you're viewing, for coming as well.
Yes,
And we'll
thank
see you
you.
soon.
Mm.